video, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Ree. In today's video, I'll be covering an update for my e-reader that I've had for over a year now, and also cover all of the reads between April and May. I'll have sections in the description so you can skim through and see what interests you the most, or you can just hang out with me throughout the video. Either way, I hope that it's the coziest time, because this is where we love to keep it cozy. In terms of the Kobo Libra Colour, there is much to talk about. I feel like I've had this device for over a year now, and I just want to share some of the things that I actually use and gravitate towards this e-reader for. Graphic novels are amazing. I love to annotate, and I love to be able to reference my annotations. So as you can see, you can actually dive into your annotations and go back into them. So if you are an annotator lover, this e-reader will feel like a dream. I like that I can also change the color of my highlights, so you're not really stuck to just one specific highlighting color, because I think there's a lot of fun in color coding your annotations. The other feature that's really cool is once you connect to a network, you can also access your books through Overdrive, which gets you a direct connection to Libby. Typically in the Libby app, you are able to add multiple libraries, and that would not be the case here through the Kobo Libra Colour. You can only add one library at a time. So that is one thing to call out, because I know that is a little bit of an inconvenience for folks that have multiple library cards connected through their Libby. But once you find your library that you want to connect to through Overdrive, it's a pretty seamless process, and all of your holds and borrows will show up through the Overdrive tab. So it's a pretty simple process. And now, just like that, everything is synced up and I can see all of my borrows. I'm actually reading this book allegedly with one of my girlfriends. We're doing a book club pick between ourselves, and this has been very interesting, and you can stay tuned to see my thoughts about some of the books that I'm reading currently a little bit later in this video. I don't think I touched on the battery life, but I would say it's pretty decent. I rarely have to charge my Kobo Libra Colour. I feel like it's pretty comparable to maybe the battery life of a Kindle. So I will say, if you are in the market for an e-reader that has the e-ink technology but in color and you enjoy note-taking, this might be something that will appeal to you. If there are any questions around the Kobo Libra Colour, I'm happy to do short videos around it, but just let me know. And thanks for listening to my recap on the Kobo Libra Colour. Let's move into the books that I have read over the months of April and May. I'll start by picking up on the last two books. I mentioned in the previous video that I was wrapping up with Little Secrets. Definitely interested in reading more by Jennifer Hillier. I think The Jar of Hearts is another book of hers that I'm curious about. This is about a woman who seemingly has it all, dealing with a lot of betrayal, how she navigates it as a person. Marin is the main character and successful business owner. She has a husband who is successful. They unexpectedly lose their son in a kidnapping. Things take a turn from there, how she's navigating with that piece and things that happen throughout her life, while she's also trying to figure out who has taken her son. There are a lot of little secrets, no pun intended, but just a lot of betrayal throughout the book. Dealing with revenge, child loss, coping and grieving is involved. Just a heads up on some of the trigger warnings. I rated this a 4-star, and I am interested in diving into Jar of Hearts, another book by Jennifer Hillier. A very interesting, twisty little thriller. I thought this was a pretty good read. This came recommended from a friend of mine who is also into mysteries and thrillers like me, so I appreciated this recommendation as something different for myself. There's a local book club club that I attend where we dive into different genres, and I really appreciate that. I will show you the book we picked for May in just a second. It was very interesting. I think I rated this at 3.75. I wasn't blown away by it. It was an interesting story, but it felt sometimes slow. I have it on audiobook as well, so I was doing a mix of both, and sometimes I do immersive reading. I will play this in the background while I multitask. This book is following Giulia Padovano and her sisters. She meets the love of her life in college. This really focuses on the bond of the sisters and how close-knit they are as a family. There's a little homage to Little Women in that sense. There's definitely a highlight on mental health in this as well. Dealing with family dynamics, if you come from a big family, seeing that family dynamic play out and then seeing how William, Julia's husband, comes into play and fits into that dynamic. It's really like navigating life. I thought it seemed a little bit too slow paced for my taste, and that's where I gave it a 3.75, but I could see someone who's really into family drama or literary fiction in general. You might appreciate this more than I did, but it was still an okay read. I still had an okay time with this. I thought again that this was great to have in the background for me and just listen to things even if I wasn't crazy about the pace. So without giving too much away, that's a little bit about Hello Beautiful. And the theme was picking a book by Jodi Picoult, and so we all anonymously voted on Mad Honey, co-written with Jennifer Boylan. It's pretty seamless. I can't tell who's written what. Such an interesting read. My jaw was on the floor with this one because there are some things that this covers. I went into this blindly like I do most of my books. This is not just a book about honey, covering the story of Olivia McAfee and Lily Campanello. They have similar circumstances, I would say, in a way. They're not the same people, of course, but there are some similarities. They have similar struggles and how their paths cross. And then there is a little bit of mystery and intrigue in the middle as well. There's something that happens where you're just like, okay, wait a minute. I wasn't expecting that. I think it's 40 or 50% into the book. I was just like, what the hell just happened? It's like one of those things where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to keep reading it. Like, you'll see there's a little bit of family secrets involved, mother-son dynamic. There is an investigation that happens, so there's a little bit of mystery as well. And then, of course, there is mention of honey interweaved in here because Olivia is a beekeeper, and so you get to see some of the correlations made when she speaks from a perspective of being a beekeeper and how the queen dynamic is with the worker bees. It's interesting, very different than anything that I've read. I believe I gave this a 3.75. I did feel like this was very drawn out. Unfortunately, I'm just really struggling to find a literary fiction that I'm head over heels for, so I'm not going to give up. I wonder if it's because I love mysteries and thrillers and I need something constantly keeping my attention. I think you just have to let the story unravel, and it's so character driven and about details. It's such a contrast, and I do feel like this kept my attention because there was a little bit of mystery involved. I would not say thriller, but definitely a little bit of light mystery involved, keeps you wondering, and it does keep you engaged. Still, the pace felt a little bit slow, and so for that, you know, that's probably where I would knock it, but I still would definitely recommend. I thought this was a good book club pick for the month of May. In terms of what I'm diving into right now, I just wrapped up with Allegedly. I am reading this with a girlfriend, and we will discuss it soon. It's a dark thriller. It feels like a lit fic, urban literature as well. It's interesting. It's coming from a point of view of a 16-year-old and her experiences in a group home. She is allegedly responsible for something that may involve a murder, but we don't really know what's going on. There's a lot of story with her and her mom and understanding that dynamic and how she grew up, which explains how she is and how she's navigating some of the challenges that you would not want to see a 16-year-old child face. That's been pretty interesting, very different from what I've read. The other book I'm reading is The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. This is my first book by Rebecca Yarros, so I
feel like her writing is very descriptive. I'm about 40% in, so I'll keep y'all posted on that as well. I've heard so many good things about The Fourth Wing, but I'm not like a fantasy reader. However, I'm intrigued because I could see how her writing style would translate well into that genre. But that is basically what I'm currently reading. And in terms of what I plan on reading next, I actually just got Belladonna made available for me. I think that's kind of like a romantasy. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about it, but I've heard good things and it might be something a little bit different. So that's how reading has been going. I would love to hear what y'all have been reading, loving. What have you not liked so much? Let me know in the comments. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And if there are any other topics or things that you guys want to see in future videos, just let me know. I hope y'all are doing well and I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.